Hello everyone. Today I thought we might make a card together. Back in December I purchased a card for my mother's birthday and she absolutely loved it, and I thought I'd try my hand at making one myself. And this is a picture of the actual card that I bought her. This was in the packet that I had to take it out of this, and it's called a pop-up card. It's nothing new. They've been around for many years, but I haven't made one before. And today I'm going to be working with a paper collection called My Secret Love. And this is by Couture Creations. I was recently asked to join their design team as a guest designer for a couple of months, and they generously sent me some of their items to make a few projects with. And the My Secret Love collection has 12 papers, and today I've picked out 4 or 5 of those papers that I thought I might like to use. And the first one is paper paper number 12, I seem to have on top here. It's a lovely paper, very pretty colours, and that's the back of it. It has a script on it. And then there's paper number 4. And paper number 6. Paper number 8, and paper number 9. Now these are the papers that I thought I might like to use. Whether I actually use them in the project, I won't know until the end. But they're the ones that I'm starting out with that I thought I might use pieces of the paper to use to make my card. I will also be using the Turbo Precision glue pen, which they sent me. The precision craft knife that they sent me, which is really sharp. You unscrew the bottom to loosen the blade and tighten it up, and it also comes with 5 additional blades as well, and it's really pretty pink colour. I will be using the stainless steel scissors they sent me, and these are very sharp also and work wonderfully. I'll also be using some of their dies, and the first one is the Butterfly Flourish die, and these are mini dies. I'll be using a couple of my own from the same collection, and this is the Secret Butterflies mini die, and also the Reaching Fern mini die. And this is actually a cut and create die, which means you can use this. It not only cuts, but it embosses, and you can also hot foil with this die as well. And I'll be also using a couple of stamps. The Open Butterfly stamp and the Love You stamp. So these are the things that I plan on using. I also will be using the 2mm wide flat back pearls in cream, the 3mm wide flat back pearls in stunning silver, and I have already started making projects for Couture Creations and used some of these things already. I'll be using some self-adhesive white foam strips and foam dots. Along with some 6mm double-sided tape. And also the mini scoring board by Couture Creations, The mini scoring board is in inches and centimetres and comes with a scoring tool that just pops off the front there, and you just slide it to hold it in place. It has instructions on the back for making envelopes and also the scale here to make your envelope. And it also comes with some little embossing designs on the back as well that you can add to your projects. So that's what I'll be using today, and from the things that Couture Creations supplied to me. So I'll just put those to one side and we will get started. Along with the things from Couture Creations, I'll be using my own cardstock, and I'm going to use this beautiful fleshy pink colour. I thought it would be very pretty with the colours in the paper line. And the first thing I'm going to do is make the base for my card. I will be cutting this, and I think I'll be working in inches. I just find it with the cutting tools that I have, working in inches is easier for me. But I will put centimetres conversion on the screen. But if you want to make this, you don't have to use my exact measurements anyway. You can use your own measurements and just follow how I make it. So I'm going to cut my cardstock 8.5 inches by 8 inches. And I will need 2 of those pieces. So I will go ahead and do that, and then I will be back. So there I have my cardstock, and now I'm going to get my little mini scoring board and score those up. Take out my tool, and it has inches across the top and down the left hand side, and centimetres across the bottom and up the right hand side. And because I've got my lights on, it's quite overcast this morning. It's a little bit hard to see those, so just bear with me. What I'm going to do is be scoring my paper at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to come down as far as I can on the scoreboard, because it is only a mini scoreboard. Flip it over and do that little bit at the bottom on that side there. I'm also going to score it at 4.5 inches, which is here. So I'll come down as far as I can on this little scoreboard, flip it over, and score it the rest of the way there. And I'm going to do that on the other cardstock piece as well. Now that they're both scored, I'm going to put them both together, and I'm just going to use my scissors and trim off just the little corner piece here, like that, just mitering those corners, like that. And when I make the card, they will go in opposite directions like that. So I'm just going to set those to one side now and concentrate on the fancy paper. And I thought I would use that for the front of my card. So for the front of my card, I want this design on the front of my card. So I want to be cutting that at 7 3/4 inches by 7 3/4 inches. And then So that's that piece there, and that is paper number 4 from the collection. And I thought I would use this part here from paper number 8 as my inside of my card, because it has this lovely design on it. I may even turn it upside down and use it that way. I know the script is slightly upside down, but I want to take advantage of this lovely floral piece. But if I just use that side, then I can use that for something else. So I will use this side for the inside of my card. and then I'll be back. I'll cut that out 7 3/4 inch by 7 3/4 inch. Okay, they're both cut out now, and the next thing I'm going to do is just fold them in half like that, corner to corner, and using my little mini scoring tool, I'm just going to crease them down the center like that. That is the inside. It does have a little border here, but we will cover that at some stage. And the same for this one here, corner to corner, like that. And that will be our card front, and that will be the inside of the card. Putting this one to the side for the time being. Now what I want to do, using my scissors and my blade, I will be fussy cutting around the floral design here. I will take it across around this little design, probably to an inch away, cutting straight up and straight across to this pretty lace design here, and then fussy cutting around the lace design coming down. I will do that and then I'll be back. So I'm actually cutting at 3/4 of an inch border on this side and on the top using my blade. Always being very careful with your sharp tools, and I'm just taking it to there. I don't know how close. Oh, that's fine. So as you can see, I've cut along the top and cut down the side. And now I'll use the scissors and I will cut around the design here. I will leave a small border around this design. That's a personal preference, but you can cut it right against the design if you like, or leave a small border. And then so I've cut all that around. I cut around the lace there, right against the lace, and then I left a small border around the floral design. I'm getting one piece of my cardstock, and I'm using the one with the tab on the right hand side, and I'm placing the decorative paper, leaving a border, an even border all the way around like that. And then with a pencil, I'm just going to mark on here in the corners, and then carefully, and not too heavy, you want to use the kind of pencil that is easy to erase. I'm just going to trace around my design here so that I can cut that out on the cardstock also. See how I've done that? I won't lift it up because I don't want to lose my positioning, but I'll go ahead and trace all around that and then I'll show you. There we go. So if you've put any little pencil marks, gently rub those out on your decorative paper, and there you can see how it's left just a little outline. And now what I'm going to do is, using my cutting knife and my scissors, I use the cutting knife for the straight edges and the scissors for the more curved edges. I'm going to be cutting these out on the inside of the pencil line. And what I mean is, when you trace around something, the pencil line is automatically on the outside. So when you're cutting it out, you need to be cutting inside if you want it to have a good fit. So I'll be cutting it more on this side rather than on that side of the line. Not that far out, obviously, but I'm just showing you. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so that's done. Just erase any little pencil marks you might see, but they shouldn't be noticeable anyway. I've gone ahead and attached my 6mm double-sided tape all around and on the inside straight edges, and I'll be using my glue, this glue here, the glue pen, Turbo Precision glue pen, and that looks fairly good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Once I've glued it, if I do see any of the pink popping through, I can always trim it off with the sharp blade. Okay, so what I'm going to do is apply, I'll give it a little bit of a shake before I start, move that one out of the way, and I'm going to put this around the curved edge. I'm not putting it right on the edge though, I'm just putting it like in a little bit, and then I can go back and smudge it out to the edge because I don't want glue showing. So I'm just going to do that. It's a nice tool to use actually, having it in a pen form. It does make it easy for gluing. So I'll go ahead and go around all of that. And once I've gone around it, I'll stop pressing on the glue pen, but I'll use the tip of it to make sure the glue goes right to the edge, like that. And then alright, so that's all glued. Now I'm going to remove the double-sided tape backing from the inside straight edges, like that, and get my cardstock and carefully place this in position, and I'm doing the glued edge first. I'm watching the design, but I'm also watching my border around the side to be sure that I get it fairly even. I think that's as good as I'm going to get. So I'm pressing down the glued part carefully first, and then once I've done that, I can run my finger up and across the straight edges, and then I can lift the corners without bending them and remove the backing from the double-sided tape. I like to do both ends and then the other sides, like that, and then this one. And this one, because the crease goes down here, I'm pressing it from the center going out just so it doesn't pucker or anything like that. And the same for this side. Okay, and there we have that, and I'm just checking to see if I can see any pink edges. There's a tiny little one there, but I'll wait until that thoroughly dries before I play around with that. And what I'm going to do next is put that to the side, making sure my tab, see the tab? Making sure it's actually on the opposite side to the front tab. Flipping it over because we want the cardstock, the good side, to be the same as the front piece, and I'm going to position this on there and stick that down using the double-sided tape as well, and then I'll be back. So I put that on, but I also put 2 strips in the center of that paper just so that it adheres it to the backing thoroughly. Okay, now I said I wanted this little strip to be down the bottom, so making sure our tab is on the opposite side, our cardstock is the correct way, lining it up as best you can with an even border. Oh, that's not right, is it? Let's see if we get it. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our inside, and I'm just going to fold that and crease it. And that will be the inside of our card. The next thing I'm going to do with this is use that, oh, here we go. I think I'll be using the rest of this paper here. I'm going to use this on the inside to make a little pop-up. I just need to know how high I'm going to need it so that it's actually visible, and I think that should be fine, like that. So if I cut that there, although it doesn't need to be that wide at all. No, we don't need it popping out that far, do we? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a strip off this to put down the bottom here so that I don't have to see that anymore. So I'm just going to mark a line there, and I'm going to cut a strip there, and then a smaller strip, perhaps that wide, to put further up. I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show. Okay, so I have put some double-sided tape on the bottom of that strip, and I'm just going to put that on now, making sure my leaves are headed in the right direction. And this won't really be noticeable that much, but it's just for my peace of mind. So it doesn't matter if those leaves match up or not. It's mainly so that if you're looking into the card like that, it doesn't look like there's a white edge. I've also cut a 4.5, I think it was. I've also cut a 4.5 by 1.25 inch strip of paper. I have folded over 1/4 inch on each side and put some double-sided tape on that, and that is going to go in the center of my card there as a pop-up. But first of all, I need to make sure I'm putting it in the correct space so it looks all right. I don't want it that high, see? I kind of want it nestled behind here a bit. So, like there. So let's just hold that there. And okay, we'll put it there like that, so about 1 inch above that leaf. What I want to do first is remove the double-sided tape. And you don't want to be bending this, leave it nice and flat. So I said about 1 inch above there. So we're going to say about there, but we want it in the center. Okay, there we go. press that down nicely. I'll just use this, a very handy little tool to have. That way when you open your card you have a little pop-up going on there. You see that? In the centre of the page. Now what I want to do is do a little bit of decorating on this, and then we will decorate the front. And what I'm thinking that I will do is this page here, which is page number 9, has these lovely bird cages on it. I want to use one of those bird cages on the background, and I'll probably make it this one here. It's a nice narrow one. Do I want that one there? I just want it coming in here, or perhaps even in there. Over here somewhere. I will cut that out and glue it on. I also want some floral design sorts of things behind there, so I will probably cut out some dies of the Butterfly Flourish design, and also the butterfly, which one? The Secret Butterflies. I will go ahead and cut some of those out, along with some Reaching Ferns, so that I can use those in the design. I think that's what I want. I'm going to be using the Love You stamp on a piece of card on the front there, so that that is the thing that pops out like that. So I'll go ahead and prepare everything. I will also be using... I'll be also cutting some of these flowers from these papers to use that I've got here. What's this one here as well? Some of these flowers here, I'll be cutting those out so that I can use those on the card. So once I've done that, because that takes quite some time, then I'll be back. Okay, just to show you quickly what I'm going to do, I've cut some of the die cuts out, the beautiful leaves, butterflies and flourishes there. I've placed a couple of the leaves here to give it that effect, you know, that it's climbing. I also have a butterfly flourish here with an extra butterfly to go over the butterfly image on the cage there. None of this is actually stuck down yet. I've used some grey cardstock and cut a butterfly to put on the background, and a pink one here as well. I have stamped out the Love You stamp, and I've put it on some of the scrap paper and also on some grey cardstock, and that will go in the centre. I have put a couple of pieces of double-sided tape, because you have to only attach the centre of it to this. You can't attach it all the way across, otherwise it won't curve. What I would like to do though is, with this, I want to lift this and put it behind there, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and cut some flowers and things out to do the front now. Okay, I have cut a number of the flowers out of the papers. I've attached the butterfly and put some of the lovely silver flat back pearls down the centre. I have stamped on the front with the butterfly stamp. What else have I done? I've cut some of the leaves out. So they're all just placed there. They're not actually stuck down. I was just playing around with placement, and I'm quite happy with that. So, I think I just glued that leaf there. That's all I've done. And so I'm going to go ahead and stick these flowers down. I will be using the 3D, the foam strips and the foam dots to pop them up a little bit. So once I've done that, I'll come back and we'll put the card together. Okay, so there we go. I have stuck everything on. I've attached the pearls. I've the 3mm silver pearls on the butterflies and some of the flowers, and then the little 2mm pearls in some of the flowers also. I found this silver sticker. It's a card sticker, and I thought I'd put that around the edge just to finish it off and give it a bit of glitter, but I'm not sure whether that's going to stay stuck down or not, so time will tell whether or not I leave that particular sticker on, but it does add a bit of sparkle. I have attached 2 strips of the double-sided tape on the back of the front piece and 2 pieces on the flap for the back piece on the back of it, like that. So when we put this together, this piece here has to be attached to this piece here, like that. So if I flip that over, it might be easier to do it from this side here. So we'll just take that off, those 2. Okay, there's one, and there's the other. Okay, so how are we doing this? That way. Okay, make sure I've got it stuck the right way. And lining that up to the crease. And hopefully I've got that lined up straight. Like that. And then we shall see. Yep, that looks right. So that's attached that, and now we need to attach that piece there to there. So we'll remove the strip. Like that, and lining that up like that. Folding it over. Whoops. Don't press too hard until you know you've got it right. Perhaps there. Let's see. Just squeeze our middle seam down a bit there. And there we go. That is our pop-up card, which is a little bit hard to show when it's on camera like this, but I will have photos on the Couture Creations blog for you to see. I will take some photos of it standing up, and I will also have all the links to the products I used in the description box below, and also on the Couture Creations blog. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. It's the first time I've made one of these cards, so I'm quite happy with how it's turned out, and I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this little pop-up card. And of course, to send it off, you just flatten it out like that, make an envelope that's larger than the actual card. You'd probably have to make an envelope that was 9 inches, I'm thinking. Yes, 9 inches, just to take into account these little pieces. But if you kept that in mind while you were making it, you could have them further in like that, and you could make a smaller envelope. But I'm really happy. I think this is a nice card to give personally rather than sending through the mail. But either way, if you were sending a nice flat package, you could put it in with that package as well. And what I might do with that sticker is actually put a little bit of this precision glue pen. I use that and put a little bit of glue under it to hold it down, because it is quite an old sticker, that, so I'm not sure how long it would actually last. But take care, everybody, and thank you for joining me, and I will be making other things with the lovely items that Couture Creations has sent me, so keep your eye out for that as well. There we go, and that is the back there. I could even put a little butterfly or something on the back, a couple of butterflies, just to decorate it if I wanted. Okay, bye.